Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, and this week we are in Torah portion Vayeshev. This is taken from Bereshit, or Genesis, chapter 37, and verse number 1, where we read, "And Yaakov dwelt in the land of his father's sojournings in the land of Canaan." The word dwelt there also meaning he settled. Let's kind of surmise where Yaakov is at this particular moment. His grandfather Abraham has walked through this region of territory, this land that he is in, and he did so as a ger, a stranger, a sojourner, one who was passing through and seeking to dwell along with. He was considered by the inhabitants there as a temporary dweller. Yitzhak receives the title deed to this land from Abraham, having received it from Yah himself. And they are assured, both of them, as well as now Yaakov, that their seed, their future generations, is going to inherit this land and do so on a permanent basis. So he is returning to his familiar territory, but he's also looking at this land with a long-term understanding of, my family belongs here. The Creator has said so. The covenant that I carry, it speaks specifically that I and my descendants, the seed, that we inherit this land. Yaakov has also been through the ringer at this point. He has been suffering from a lot of family dysfunction. Having 4 wives can cause a lot of dysfunction. He comes from a line of family dysfunction. Most recently, his favorite wife, his primary bride, Rachel, has just died giving birth to his youngest son. He has wrestled not only with a spiritual being, as we talked last week, I believe the angel of Esau. He's not only wrestled that way, but he's also wrestled along with Esau and lived under the threat of Esau killing him. He has spent 20 years with his father-in-law, Lavan, who has usurped his talents and abilities for his own profit. He has just recently dealt with Hamor, a king who preached the doctrine of assimilation for peace. And that didn't turn out well because his 2 sons, Shimon and Levi, in their great zeal, has wiped out a city and left he and his family now as a stench in the nostrils of anyone who knows about it. This is not a good situation. Added to this, Joseph now is some 17 years of age, and as we get into tomorrow and beyond, we find out that the family dysfunction is such that his brothers cannot speak peaceably to him. So, one of the major items that I failed to mention is Dinah, his daughter, has been raped, then kidnapped. How much more should this man expect to go through? How many more times should he and his family be under the threat of death, of assimilation, of invasion, of failing to keep the covenant, all the while squabbling among themselves? On the spiritual side of things, if we were to take all this into a more spiritual application, Yaakov has run from and then returned to deal with Esau, the professional religious system. He has dealt with Lavan, a pastoral figure who exploits and usurps another man's anointings for his own benefit and gain. He has encountered the Shechemite doctrine of assimilation, and it almost got preached successfully, and he and his family barely escape with their genuine identity as to who they really are. So he also is aware, he carries the title, the very specific, unique, the very powerful title of Israel. He is the select one. And with him, his sons now will become the sons of Israel. They will become the nation. Instead of it being just a father giving a blessing and then that blessing causing Yah to add the Bekira, the blessing of the seed in the land, to that individual, where it's one individual out of the sons from generation to generation. With Yaakov, all his sons now become identified as tribes, as they are B'nai Israel. This is not just the birth of a family, but the birth of a nation. This is the moment that they've all been waiting for. Of course, there's more twists and turns than that yet to come, but we'll get there. So the word Vayeshev, it is rooted in the Hebrew letters a Yod, a Shin, and a Bet. A Yod being the hand, signifying work. The Shin signifying teeth, or that which consumes or devours. And the Bet being the house or the family. So the letter suggests the idea that to settle down is the work that consumes the family, or the occupation that preoccupies the house or the family. Raising a family is hard work. And it requires a sense of stability, a security, a sense of permanence, a family that is in constant moving, constant nomadic circles, constant uncertainty of where they belong, and therefore they don't know who they are. That's very hard to overcome. Some of you in the audience, you may be a military brat, as you may be referred to, and you know the experience of moving from place to place to place, and the hardship that can place on you. My children have known being ministry brats, in a way of saying. They have moved from town to town over our pastoral experience, and then house to house once we even got here to Gloucester. So we have finally found a place of permanence, a place of being settled, at least to this point. Yah says that he said to Abraham, he said, your future generations are going to go and suffer exile, and they're going to do so for a long period of time. And then they're going to come back to this land. Could it be, possibly, that Yaakov were surmising, I am the generation of suffering that was prophesied to my grandfather Abraham. Now we're coming back to the land after I've been away in exile, and we're coming back to the land, and we're going to receive the land with some permanence. The hope and the ambition is to be settled. Could it be that finally the struggles, the fightings, the strivings, the anxieties, the pressures could be alleviated, and for a season then that maybe of generations, we can have some peace? Isn't that what we're all after? Where the dust settles from all of the stuff that is involved in our lives, and we come to a place where life is good, that we can sit back and eat and take our ease. Sound familiar? Yeshua referred to one who thought that was his estate, and he said, you fool, tonight your life will be required of you. In this world and its present situation, the day that we're hoping for really does not avail itself. Those are days of the kingdom, and we're not there yet. If Yaakov surmised that he was in the time of permanence and settling, he soon was to find out it was not to be the case. Let's not get prophetically ahead of ourselves, but let's stay discerning of the hour and the day that we're living in. We'll follow up with more on this tomorrow. Until then, shalom.